Ms. Jay, good morning. Welcome to the Muskogee Creek National Council quarterly session. Today is Saturday, July 29, 2023. The time is 9:23 a.m. My name is Speaker William Lowe, and I call this meeting to order. At this time, I would like to ask, is Pastor Mitchell Taylor in by chance? If not, when he gets here, we didn't let him know we were moving the time up, so we'll pause our meeting and have him say a blessing for us, okay? So just letting you all know. But at this time, I would like to ask Representative Anna Marshall to say our invocation, please.
Let us pray. Creator God, we just come to you today, and we just come with thankful hearts and grateful hearts, and we just thank you for the blessings of this day, and we just thank you for letting us see the sunrise this morning, because we're not guaranteed a day. We only live from day to day, and we just ask that you just continue to be with our nation and to be with our communities, and that you just bless them and lead them and guide them, just as you do us each and every day with your wisdom and your knowledge and your direction. And we just ask that you just continue to guide us through this meeting so that we can make decisions that are the best for our citizens. And sometimes that's hard to do, but we just ask that you give us discernment and that you give us guidance. And we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Monroe Representative Marshall. Roll call. National Council Secretary Alicia Strobel.
Speaker William Lowe.
Here.
Galen Cloud.
Delega.
Mary Crawford.
Delega.
Joyce Steer.
Present.
Patrick Freeman. Sandra Golden.
Present.
Leonard Gouge.
Here.
Nelson Harjo.
Here.
Joseph Hicks.
Here.
Randall Hicks, excused. Robert Huft.
Present.
Anna Marshall.
Present.
Charles McHenry.
Here.
Thomasine Hola Osborne.
Present.
Darrell Proctor.
Here.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
We have 15 present, 0 absent, and 1 excused.
15 present, 0 absent, 1 excused. That constitutes a quorum. Any business conducted this morning will be valid. Next item on the agenda, quarterly report. At this time, I would like to introduce Principal Chief David W. Hill. Oh, yeah, okay, I got you.
Good morning. Stay and Stungo. Feels good to walk around with brand new knees. Now I can handle is real good. But before we get started, definitely I always like to introduce the executive office, everyone in executive office, secretary, deputy secretaries, and president. Please stand up and be recognized. Thank you. Also, I'm going to introduce him in a little bit, but definitely want to recognize a newly set of royalty that's here today, Miss Muskogee Snow Barnett. And Junior Miss Georgia Harjo. And if the parents of these two would stand up and be recognized, I appreciate that. And if they can see, they're in the back. You can sit up there in the front. We're not going to bite if you want to. Again, I'm grateful for the opportunity from the council to report to you today on a great quarter we've had here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. I was approached by Representative Proctor. He said, "You're going to make it short and sweet, right?" And I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "It's down to 5 pages, but the good thing is I got like 20 font, so we'll make it shorter." We've had historic victories this quarter with decision in the Hooper and Brackeen case, upholding our sovereign rights over the Reservation and Indian Child Welfare Act, respectively. I'd like to ask any members of law enforcement, justice system, and those working with our Native American and families to stand and be recognized for their hard work they do every day. Please stand, law enforcement, anyone that's CFSA, please stand and be recognized. I did the same thing at Intertribal, and I think I had one individual stand up, and I said, well, it goes to show you the rest of them are out there working hard. I want to remind everyone that we turn in our reports to the council each quarter, and they can be found on the home page of our website. As always, I encourage citizens to take a look through the reports and stay informed. I think there's 45 pages, so that's why I told Representative Proctor I'll keep it short. But all the information's in there, and I encourage everyone to please take a look. On our permanent fund at the end of this quarter was $489,966,501, an increase over $18.5 million from the previous quarter. We continue to make progress. At our meat processing facility, sales were up 7% over the last quarter and over 30% for the year compared to last. The Tribal Oil and Gas Code is being reviewed, edited, and soon to be available for approval. I'll be coming forward to the National Council for approval. With the new amendments, this will bring an additional source of income for the nation and provide new job opportunities. The Oil and Gas Department is working alongside the Tax Commission, Realty, and the various other departments to help strengthen this code for the benefit of the nation and its citizens. Oil and Gas also collaborating with Tribal Energy. This quarter, we also held our second annual Muskogee Art Market, which is quickly becoming one of the most popular in the country. Also, we are furthering our development of the first Muskogee Arts and Cultural Council. I know that Chief of Staff has been working with Siobhan Agee, who's over that, and we're trying to find a location at the Riverwalk to find a building to have a culture, not a culture center, but kind of like an exhibit hall for all our Muskogee Creek artists. So that's in the works. We introduced a new unit in our Light Horse Police Department, the Light Horse Mounted Patrol. We continue to build capacity and resource in law enforcement to meet our jurisdictional responsibilities. Had the honor to see, I think there was, you may correct me, Chief of Police, but there was probably 4 at the rodeo, in which made a great presence there, in which they patrol around the rodeo and different areas at the festival. I also want to share a few highlights from the last 3 months. In April, our Emergency Management Department welcomed representatives from various communities for a coordination meeting on ideas of water waste, water treatment facilities. This meeting resulted from historic legislation we signed to match federal funds for these kind of projects. This is a massive investment in the future of reservation infrastructure. Thank you, Emergency Management, FEMA, and our National Council. And as of today, Mr. Bobby Howard, I think there's 10 projects that's going to be coming up, I believe. So thank you very much for your hard work and also working with FEMA and working with the National Council. Also, on the college, not the college, but we graduated 9 Muskogee citizens that completed our Pipeline CNG Technical Training Program. This program was made possible through a collaboration between the nation, OSU, Institution of Technology, and Marathon Petroleum Corporation. Thank you to the Employment and Training for always coming up with new ways to help employ our citizens, so thank you. On April 21st, commencement ceremony was held for the largest class in history at the College of the Muskogee Nation. Our college continues to grow, building campuses bigger every day, basically, and we are excited for the future. And I see President Monty Randall. Please stand up and be recognized. I know, Dr. Randall, I tell you what, I can express the work that you do during your college, and I want to congratulate you on also serving on another board. You're doing great things for the nation and the college, so I appreciate that, Dr. Randall. In May, I was proud to stand beside fellow leaders of the council and united voice against the governor's veto on bills protecting religious freedom, education, and public safety in Oklahoma. Those vetoes would go on to be overwhelmingly overridden. I also want to thank Speaker Lowe, former Speaker Hicks, Sergeant of Arms Yahola, Representative Crawford, Representative Cloud. I think that was it that attended the meeting last Monday at the Senate Mercy meeting they had at the Capitol. I will say that alongside with myself, Second Chief and Chief of Staff, that Muskogee Nation was represented well to see that the senators overrode the veto. So I appreciate y'all attending. I did receive a text message from Chief Batten, wanted to know if we could attend Monday. So Speaker, I'll get with you on maybe if we need to go, I'll get with Chief of Staff and Second Chief Beaver. They don't know that Chief Batten had contacted me, but want to know we need to have another great showing again. We introduced a new program under social services. The Tribal Grave House Assistance Program will begin October 1st and will provide up to $500 to a Muskogee family towards the purchase of supplies to construct a grave house for their loved ones. We're so thrilled to include a program that assists those at a tough time and in need, but advance a key facet to our culture as well. I want to say that whenever representative comes to me when they want to add an additional program or increase the program, I always let them get with the departments, and I appreciate each and every one. I know Representative Osborne and Representative Randolph had always approached me on things that we can make the nation better and provide better service, so I thank you. June was one of our busiest months. We were once again honored to host from around the world our annual Muskogee Nation Festival. Free family fun for 2 weekends, and we ended our biggest event with the Muskogee Fashion Show, showcasing some of our talent, Muskogee artists, and designer. And I believe Mr. Howard had told me we had approximately 45 to 50,000 that attended all 4 days, and that's probably our largest one, I believe. So I want to thank each and every one that volunteered, helped, support the festival. Kind of looking forward to next year, see if we can outdo every year. So I appreciate each and every one. We hosted Oklahoma Municipal League and Broadband Office at Tribal Headquarters for a meeting on better ways to partner together to increase access to broadband and high-speed connectivity across our reservation. Again, that's the department that Zach and Micah, they all make sure that we have that create a great partnership and see what we can go forth and making it better. So I appreciate that. We're excited to share and soon the investment we made in the Secretary of Nation and Commerce Office with a strategic plan and coverage map of our rural areas. We welcome our newest royalty, as I mentioned. Just want to say that I'm very proud of these 2 young ladies. Knowing Chanel when she was a little girl, to where she's up today as junior miss last year and Miss Muskogee this year. And I also want to congratulate Georgia Harjo. I think we only met probably a month and a half ago, but it seemed like they're considered family, so I appreciate both of y'all. Also, I signed the Executive Order 23-03 declaring a state of emergency for the Muskogee Creek Nation in response to the storm damage on our reservation on June 20th. This action allowed the nation to request a formal federal legislation or declaration, and relax procurement procedures for emergency items. Right after that storm, I called Raylan Butler and Chief of Police. It was brought to my attention about the council oak tree there at Council Oak in Tulsa. So they drove by and Chief of Police had someone send me pictures. And it's amazing that that tree is probably 3-4 foot in diameter, still standing, only had a couple of branches broken off. But if you look west of where the other statues were, there was a tree that was probably 6 inches in diameter, and it folded that tree. So it just shows you the strong roots that our ancestors had on that council oak. So I appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one that assisted in this disaster. I know Our emergency management was pretty much 24/7 on that call. We're so happy to host a Tribal Self-Governance Conference at our fabulous resort just a few weeks ago. There were tribal government and tribal policy leaders from all over the country here. We had great opportunities to host Indian Health Director Rosalind So to our Muskogee Creek Nation Coweta Indian Health Facility and look at our automated pharmaceutical refill center. This was a chance for our team to show Director So how our joint venture has thrived and grown over the years, and to meet with her in leadership to discuss the needs and priorities of the Muskogee Creek Nation Health. And also with the health, I think they have some other great news that's coming forth next week. So once I get that, I'll forward it to the council. So kind of keep you on suspense what's going on. Before I end, I want to thank, again, the National Council. I'll get with Speaker and we'll decide what we need to do Monday. But I think a great showing at the state capitol that we're going to do what we need to do to protect our sovereignty in our nation as well. On another note, we are, if you look in the report, our citizenship now has grown. I think when we got in office, it was 89, 90,000. We're at 99,765 as of June 30th. And I teased the other tribal leaders from Choctaw and Cherokee. I said, once we reach that 100,000 mark, you're going to have to join us into their club. So we'll definitely reach that. Again, the senators meeting that we had, appreciate each and every one. Not only that, the fight that we have here at the state, I encourage the Speaker to get with the council. We have NCAI that's coming up. We have these so-called groups that are coming up that are wanting to be declaring that they're Muskogee Creek in Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida. And that's also another fight that we will have to continue, that we are the only Muskogee Creek. We're the ones that walked on Trail of Tears that came here with our tradition, our language, and our history. So that's a fight that will continue as well. I know we've kept council through the issue that we have with Hickory Ground. And I always know that we got their full support, and we'll continue fighting for what happened. And with these state tribes, I think it starts here. So it won't continue with any other state or any other group that proclaim to be Muskogee Creek. But I know council has a lot of legislation on the agenda. But I want to thank each and every one. Please, again, I encourage everyone to go on our website and pull up the report. Any questions or concerns that you have, please call our office. I know Anita's over there. She may want to hand out her phone or not, but please call. She'll schedule a meeting, and we'll be more than happy to discuss what's going on within the executive branch. We always open the doors when it's possible to meet each and every one. I also want to give a big handout to our tax commission. Since we opened up the office in Riverwalk, Coweta, Okemah, she surpassed, and it's in the budget how much revenue that's gone through our tag office. So I appreciate Mary and the staff and their hard work, and continue to do so. But Speaker, I think that's it for now. Again, I appreciate each and every one. I also want to thank our veteran, Robert. Grover showed up just a little bit late, but I want to thank you for all you do for the veteran as well. So I did mention he did receive the 3 motorcycles the other day. They did not let him drive. It didn't have training wheels on it, so they told Grover you can't drive that. But they're real nice. There's 3 of them, have them in the building, so be able to honor our veterans during the funeral. So on the escort service. So I appreciate that, Representative Wynn. So thank you, Speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's give Principal Chief David Hill another round of applause. Mado Chief, for everything you and the executive branch does. We greatly appreciate you, sir. All right, next item on the agenda, we have, like I mentioned earlier, we have Pastor Mitchell Taylor, Hickory Ground Number 1, Indian Baptist Church. Sir, I'd like to call you up, and please give us a blessing and say a few words to us. And please stand if you're able. Pastor Taylor.
Morning. I thank God for this privilege and honor that the National Council and the Creek Nation and everyone today for inviting us over, and it's an honor to be here this morning. And we apologize for being late. We thought we was early. The first time we ever thought we was early for something, we was late. But as one minister said one time, he said, we always run on Indian time, and one good thing about Indian time, you're never late. But we're thankful this morning. God bless you all, and want to thank the chief, second chief, and the whole Creek Nation for recognizing us as a church and inviting us over today. God bless you all. I brought some of my church members with me, and we're going to sing a Creek hymn and offer a word of prayer. Then we'll get out of y'all's way. But we're simply just so happy to be here. I want to just share, just like Psalms 23 says, that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. God has taken care of Creek Nation and blessed us so much. We are very blessed individuals as a Creek tribe. We're happy to have our chief and second chief as leaders, and we appreciate y'all so much. God bless you all. I'm going to have my group sing. Y'all want to come up here and sing? That's the first time I ever seen them shy. We're going to offer a Creek hymn, and then we're going to offer a word of prayer. Today we honor God, the honor and privilege, as we said. The song, the Creek hymn we're going to sing, God our Creator. He's the one that created all things. He's the one that blesses us today. And like I said, we are a blessed nation for everything that you people do here that blesses our people. And we're so grateful for that. Isakitat Meshet Laiket Nakhomo Gon Hai Tzarim Ben Galet Meko Sabai Chachokwan Yesha Ga God po hayat na. 哦， Oh, Jaarsipuski hal willegitskaan. Ajomit mudinetta simanans kusidaan sibuhmelehet. Ja sokollegaadit ja pidokkaaletsken ajomaadit. Ikkurunun nomaadit. Ingittiibalgi omalgat. Ajoma imadutkalgin nomaat. Aliloyet. Ajomit ja sokosleiken. Ohjeejiaan. Ajomit ahakadunun nomaadit. Bobani jaagit. Daagit. Ajomit. Mun sobaklet. Ajomit naagit. Ayakahana. Ahakadunun nomaadit. Pujansi. Stormit. I guess that's got to call it. It won't be jagged. Ayomit. Umistagit and nomadit. Ayoma, Tijala get away out. Stormit in Pumahet and a bee diet. Make it at Hayomit. Nakamalgat. Ayomat. It did agit. Ayomit. But don't go get no nomadit. It won't be jagged. Haggard at Hayahana. Umalgat umisagit. Jakagari chawandagi hayomit ane jowiba hindi bidokalit hayomit nagit mukshabaklit abi idayat pumahit idayat fully idayat chimi man ejokhijit chimi man nagomalgat pujasi sibuh militsken hayomit mutinit nomalit ibuh militskat nagomalga sijilakitsit hayomit idokkalegit hagadat demobani jagit hayomat It did agi jakahanat. Umalga ruhmisagit. Ibo milit tiktangi bombalit Madoji gets it. Ochadalagin. Yep. Jalel get away at it. Esto made ibo milit. Nagit pon hitskijit. Ibo fast David. Sibo yahanit got it. Umalga chingi ovani weket. Hayomat Jimmy man. Ejochijit. Miko imaneja. Umalga. Hayomi ahaka hayage. Umalga chingi over chin wekit madani weket. Hayomat ogida pumbaliskat. Madoji get seat. Jimmy man ejochijit on etska bilka jin bohit. Jimmy got on, but Jesus would have this boys. Amen. 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 God bless you.
Beautiful words, beautiful song. Mado, Pastor Taylor, and Hickory Ground Number 1 Indian Baptist Church for being here today. We greatly, greatly appreciate you all. Everyone here, thank you for adjusting for our agenda. As I mentioned earlier, we greatly appreciate you. And we're never late on Indian time, so that is very true. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes. We have minutes from emergency session June 1, 2023, emergency session June 6, 2023, planning session June 13, 2023, pre-agenda regular session June 17, 2023.
Speaker,
Yes, Representative Marshall.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes with any necessary changes for June 1, June 6, June 13, and June 17.
Representative Anna Marshall makes a motion to approve all the aforementioned minutes. Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne seconds. Is there any discussion? Representatives, do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Anna Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry. Yes. Thomasine Yehola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer. Patrick Freeman. Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft. Speaker, you have 14 in favor, 0 against.
14 in favor, 0 against. All aforementioned minutes are approved. On to the order of business. TR 23-068, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a Muskogee Creek Nation Department of Housing contract with Harris Contractors. Sponsor, Representative Galen Cloud.
Hezbollah ya jugodele toya hana ya tawate
Representative Galen Cloud makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, TR 23-068 is adopted. TR 23-069, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a Muskogee Creek Nation Department of Housing contract with McGuire Brothers LLC. Sponsor, Representative Joseph Hicks.
Speaker, make motion to adopt.
Representative Joseph Hicks makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Charles McHenry. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Hearing and seeing no discussion, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, TR 23-069 is adopted. TR 23-070, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation approving the absentee workers for the 2023 Muskogee Creek Nation primary and general elections. Sponsor, Representative Anna Marshall.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Anna Marshall makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne. Discussion. Do we have any discussion?
Speaker,
Yes, Representative Proctor.
I'd like to make a motion that we postpone this legislation for 1 month.
Representative Darrell Proctor makes a motion to postpone this resolution for 1 month, seconded by Representative Galen Cloud. Discussion. Do we have any discussion on the postponement? Representative Randolph.
We have the reason why we're going to postpone.
Yes, I'd like to go through the process of, I know this was in discussion in HEW committee. I know there's background checks are completed, but I'd like to know on the individuals that are vetted for this. I know there's standards and requirements that we have to go by, and I just like to be able to go through and see if these can be updated in committee.
Mado, sir, Mado, Representative Proctor. Any more discussion? Hearing no discussion, we have a postponement for 1 month. Roll call vote, please.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Thomasine Yehola Osborne.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 14 in favor, 0 against.
14 in favor, 0 against. TR 23-070 has been postponed for 1 month. Next item on the agenda, TR 23-071, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation confirming the nomination of Zachariah Harjo to serve as the Secretary of the Nation for the Muskogee Creek Nation. Sponsors are Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne, Representative Randall Hicks, Representative Nelson Harjo Sr., and Representative Mark Randolph.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Nelson Harjo Sr. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Thomasine Yehola Osborne.
Yes.
Darrell Proctor.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Joyce Steer.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Leonard Gouge.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Robert Huft.
Yes.
Anna Marshall.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 13 in favor, 1 against.
13 in favor, 1 against. TR 23-071 is adopted. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce your new Secretary of the Nation for the Muskogee Creek Nation, Zachariah Harjo. Please stand. And Zachariah, from my understanding, your family is here in attendance. Please, family, stand and be recognized. I know you have to be very, very proud of this young man. What a great accomplishment today. Please stand. Please stand. But for being here, thank you. Next item on the agenda, TR 23-072, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending TR 19-076, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation to suspend all special appropriations and donations as amended by TR 20-150, 21, TR 21-080, TR 22-128, TR 22-143, TR 22-150, TR 22-155, TR 22-170, TR 23-045, TR 23-062, and TR 23-066. Sponsor, Representative Anna Marshall.
Motion to adopt, Speaker.
Representative Anna Marshall makes a motion to adopt. Seconded by Representative Mary Crawford. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to make a note here and just be transparent that at this time I cannot support this legislation. I'm afraid if we approve this legislation, the floodgates are going to open for other communities and other towns and cities to want to have something also. I know that there's a need out there, but I think that we need to possibly maybe get with risk management to see if there might be any grants that might be available to our cities and towns before we approve this. Thank you, Speaker.
Representative Yohola Osborne. Second speaker, Robert Huft.
Yeah, Speaker, I cannot support this bill at this time. We presented it to our community and told them they asked us not to support this bill this time, but also I think there's a lot of needs out there for a lot of citizens. I have calls for that. I hear that we can't provide assistance because we have no money for them. And I understand the need for this here, but I think there can maybe look at a further future, maybe if they can provide part of the funding down the road somewhere, but I cannot support this at this time.
Second speaker. Yes, sir. Any other comments? Representative Golden.
Excuse me. Yes, the amount, I think some of the citizens in our area have been concerned. It's not so much that we don't want to help, it's just the amount. So if there was more from that community, there would be more support, because this would be the most amount that we did for special appropriations this year. Thank you.
Representative Golden. Representative Marshall.
Thank you, Speaker. I understand the concern shared by the previous representatives. One of the things that in Tocobuchee District or Hughes County, we're the only paid, Holdenville is the only paid fire department. They don't just work Holdenville, they work the entire county. And because all the rest of the fire departments are volunteer. One of the things is that tax base in smaller communities aren't as big as Tulsa, Okmulgee, probably Okemah, or in other places. And so they did agree to do $150,000, and I think that's pushing it for a small rural community of Holdenville. And we were out last night. Some of the firefighters are here today, and we were out last night fighting a fire that ended up being a total loss to an Indian family. And so I think the need is important, and sometimes that need, because of safety and protection, sometimes far exceeds the amount that's requested. And I understand that it opens up the floodgates, but I think we've already opened up the floodgates anyway, because of some of the past ones that we have done, even most recently as 2023, if I remember correctly, because they were smaller amounts, but we still waived and supported and passed Rock the Vote. You probably remember that one, where we gave 5,000, even though they're an urban organization, we still gave them 5,000 to work in conjunction with Creek Nation to pay for their workers' fees and their mileages. And then we also we authorized a donation to Muskogee, the MOA organization, for their Indigenous Peoples Day events. We also offered Muskogee Lady Legends $2,000 to help with their Indigenous Peoples Day, to help provide food, drinks, paper products, utensils, gas, T-shirts, and possible purchase of tables and chairs. And then also we also gave a total of $233,740 to the Muskogee Nation funding to allow donations to the Muskogee Seminole Wichita Indian Baptist Association and the Oklahoma Indian Missionary Conference. And those were used for renovations and repairs and for electrical work in those areas for our citizens. But we also have citizens in rural communities. And I'm not just talking about Holdenville, I'm talking about Hannah, I'm talking about Dustin, and all the other communities who are probably going to need assistance as well. I did approach Mr. Bobby Howard and visited with him when this initially first I was going to initiate this legislation. I visited with him about some possible funding. If you remember correctly, in June, when we had our council meeting, Speaker made an announcement that for all the communities that was interested in purchasing fire trucks, fire equipment, that we were going to meet with Bobby down here at the front. And if I remember correctly, the only ones that stayed was Mary Crawford and Charles McHenry. But I think there's going to be a need in the future for all of our communities to have adequate fire equipment and fire trucks. It's not just Holdenville, but I think eventually it's going to happen. We talked about bringing in the different communities and sitting down and having a roundtable and talking about how we could do this. No one's schedule ever worked out. And everything, and so I think it was brought to the attention of the speaker as well. And so I just want to say that in advocacy and to advocate for my community that's in dire need, but for my district, but also for all the other districts in the future, when we start, the Muskogee is probably going to need a ladder truck for the clinic that's going to be built there. There's also going to be, we're building other buildings where they're going to have adequate fire truck protection and to have that equipment to be able to properly protect and provide safety for those communities. And particularly, with the clinic that's going into Holdenville, but we also have a casino there. We have a lot of Creek citizens that live there. And not only that, but we have other tribes that live there as well. We have a lot of Seminoles that live there. We have a lot of Creeks. We have Cheyenne Arapaho. We have a variety of tribes. So it's not just we have a huge enclave of Native people that live in that area. And seeing our workers last night, I was sweating and I didn't even have on that heavy gear that they had. And I really appreciate the work that they do, and all firefighters and any first responders that are out there, that we have a duty and a responsibility to provide safety and protection for our citizens, no matter where you live, whether you're in an urban area or in a rural area like my district, because we're all pretty rural. And so that's what I would like to offer, is that that the immediacy is that we have if you read the legislation, the city is willing to put up $150,000. I think that's pushing it, but they were willing to put that up. I talked to the acting city manager, and he said they might be able to go a little bit more than the $150,000. And I think that's quite a bit, considering a lot of the other larger places don't even ask for that much. And they don't even offer that much. So that's just in support of my area. But I do know that that the fire truck that we saw, or the amount that you saw, and the amount that we're asking Creek Nation to assist with is for a new fire truck. It's a 2023. And Mr. Howard gave us a lot of websites to go through that emergency management uses, and we went there, and a majority of their used fire trucks are pretty much at 300 and 400,000. And Mr. Howard and I talked about the immense, the amounts on fire trucks. But I think COVID had a whole lot to do with it. I'm not going to blame COVID for the amount of the cost increase, but I think we're just seeing an increase in everything, whether it's an ambulance or a fire truck or fire gear or police vehicles. I'm sure the Light Horse Police Chief can tell you about the expense that it takes to have patrol cars out to help provide safety and security for our people. And so with that in mind, just bear that in mind when you vote. Thank you.
Well, Representative Marshall, and again, Council, TR 23072 is to suspend all special appropriations and donations. Any last comments before we call for the vote? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Hannah Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne,
No.
Carol Proctor,
No.
Mark Randolph,
Oh.
Galen Cloud,
No.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Sandra Golden,
No.
Leonard Gouge,
No.
Nelson Harjo,
No.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft. Speaker, you have six in favor, 8 against.
6 in favor, 8 against. TR 23-072 fails. TR 23-073, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to submit a trust application to the BIA to place property in trust for the Muskogee Creek Nation. Sponsor, Representative Randall Hicks.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Nelson Harjo Sr. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, TR 23-073 is adopted. NCA 23-045, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending MCNCA Title 16, Chapter 1, Subsection 1-102, entitled The Organization for the Executive Office of the Principal Chief to organize various cultural and humanities programs by creating a new Culture and Humanities Department. Sponsors are Representative Galen Cloud, Representative Leonard Gouge, and Representative Joseph Hicks. Representative Galen Cloud makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Joseph Hicks. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Representative Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm not sure who I need to direct this question to, but I'm just curious as to, during the HEW meeting, I zoomed in regarding this, and there were 2 gentlemen, I believe, that have been working on this particular program. However, they're not employed with the tribe. So my question is to whomever can answer this is, will applicants be received for these positions, or are these 2 gentlemen automatically going to be put into these positions?
Hello, Chief.
Oh, no, we'll take application. Those 2 representatives were there to bring up the idea, which they have to apply to, but we'll just put it out there and see who applies for it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments, questions?
Question.
Yes, Representative Golden.
Yeah, I'd just like to know why, what's the reason why this is needed or why it's being done? I think I know, but I would like whoever developed it, I'd like to know.
Second Chief Dale Beaver, we greatly appreciate you for stepping up, sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
That's a great question. Why do we need this? The answer is that, well, one, typically in the past, we may have not needed a Secretary of Culture because we lived our culture. It's not something that we really had to worry about in the past. But now that with the onset of these groups out here trying to steal our identity, steal who we are, with the onset of where our language is at, I don't think anybody can sit here and say that we're not in a situation where we have to start getting fluent language speakers. And so when you look at the organizational structure of the nation, it doesn't make sense to have a culture department over here, a cultural archives department over here, a language department here. So that's what this does. Is it makes it make sense that we have a culture department, a true culture department, and a true secretary of culture that is responsible for maintaining the integrity of this department, maintaining questions. We get questions all the time, and so we have to kind of shift them to over here, over there, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so really what this legislation one does, it makes it make sense to have a cultural department. And two, it creates a person that, with support, it's not all on their shoulders, with support, that is responsible for guiding, responsible for helping, responsible for all those things that the questions that we get, and we can't point them to anybody. We got to point them to different areas, and so that don't make a whole lot of sense to us. And so that's what this does. Is it creates that one department that's over our culture, our language, all those things that are underneath that, which also it extends to everything we do, though. That's what it does. It extends to everything we do. And so that's what this cultural department does.
Also, what would be the requirements of that secretary, since there's not a job description, but I know you talked about responsibility, but what would be the requirements for that secretary position?
Well, inside the legislation, it creates a commission, a cultural board commission. And so the commission will be responsible for making that requirements. This is far too much responsibility for just one person, even the chief of this nation, to say these are the requirements. Our culture is far too important for just one person to say, this is that person. And so the requirements will be created, and they'll have to be vetted through this committee. And so that's something that we've talked about ad nauseum. We've had many meetings about this. Representative Cloud, he's come into our office, and we've had people from the language, from the cultural departments come in. We've had people from the grounds come in, from the churches come in. And so this legislation was not created overnight. We've been talking about this for years now. And so it's been carefully thought out. Is it perfect? Maybe not. But we got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Representative Nelson Harjo, Sr.
Yes, I agree to this because, when I sit here and I look out in the audience and the majority of our Muskogonian people, when you think about it, we're not the umbrella name that we have here. We're all made up of tribal towns. And so there's a lot of different things, culturally speaking, that they would bring to the table that would be considerably different. And we have, some of our people who are Creek Yuchi. They bring things that are different from their, their perspective and everything. And it all depends too, because culturally speaking, we have a family language sometimes that things are said and the way they are said. And so there's so many differences out there that, with this department, my assumption is that these things could be, as much as we can capture, can be captured. So that way, these things will, stay with who we are, and I understand what you're saying by saying this is bigger than one person. It always has been. It's always taken us all. And that's why we're here today as we are gathered, because not one person can run this tribe. It takes all of us to do all these different things. And so I can appreciate that. I asked these gentlemen some questions when they stood up the other day, but, I was glad in the way they answered, and I appreciated that because, it's just things that, and it is a question of we just got to know why. But I have that understanding. And again, if we're not careful without these things, well, then we become the last of our kind.
And that doesn't need to be. We need to continue to move forward with everything that we have within our ability and responsibility to maintain and to push forward so that we maintain who we are as a people. But
Sir. Second Chief, would you like to say any summaries, comments?
I just wanted to also add that, this is, just for clarity, this piece of legislation is just to amend the organization of the executive office, creating the Office of Department of Culture. The next piece of legislation is actually appropriating funds to get somebody, if we can find somebody within this fiscal year, to put somebody in that position. And then the 23-047 is a totally different program underneath the department. Okay, so they're three distinct, separate pieces of legislation.
Sir. Any final comments, questions? Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne.
Thank you, Speaker. I believe that, don't get me wrong, I do support this, but I think what I've seen in the past is that we do have the College of Muskogee Nation who've been working close with the Department of Education regarding our language. So I think putting that under one umbrella, I think is a good thing. I think I have a question, I guess, and I don't think anybody can really answer, but when we have our young coming in possibly with our elders, and they're trying to merge together, I just don't want anybody to feel less than because we don't speak the language, or because we don't go to the ceremonial grounds, or vice versa, because we don't go to church, and because we don't maybe know our Muskogee hymns. I just don't want anybody to feel less than because they don't participate in one or the other. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Second
you.
Chief.
Any other comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
No.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Leonard Gouge,
yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft,
Yes.
Anna Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yehola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 13 in favor, 1 against.
13 in favor, 1 against. NCA 23-045 is adopted. NCA 23-046, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation establishing a new Title 16, Chapter 4, entitled Culture and Humanities Department and appropriating funds. Sponsors are Representative Galen Cloud, Representative Leonard Gouge, and Representative Joseph Hicks.
Azambulayan Uklazijastan
Representative Galen Cloud makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Leonard Gouge. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Representative Golden.
Yes. I know someone had said earlier about how this fits into an organization and how it fits into but we've never really had that, and I would like to see that. Also, you do have these positions, like for the director and the other people in here, but the secretary is not on here. And so I asked a question earlier about the getting the structure together, and one of the concerns I have is when we have requirements, sometimes we knock ourselves out of the ballpark when we say, well, we want a PhD from Harvard with all of this, and they learn the language on the Zoom trainings, and they know the language, but they didn't grow up here, and they're not a part of the culture per se. So I'm just expressing that concern. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Steer,
No.
Patrick Freeman, Sandra Golden,
No.
Leonard Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft,
Yes.
Anna Marshall,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Thomasine Yehola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
You have 12 in favor, 2 against.
12 in favor, 2 against. NCA 23-046 is adopted. NCA 23-047, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation appropriating funds to create the Muskogee Language Liaison Program. Sponsors are Representative Galen Cloud, Representative Leonard Gouge, and Representative Joseph Hicks. Representative Galen Cloud makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Joseph Hicks. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Galen Cloud?
Yes.
Mary Crawford?
Yes.
Joyce Steer?
No.
Patrick Freeman?
Yes.
Sandra Golden?
No.
Leonard Gouge?
Yes.
Nelson Harjo?
Yes.
Joseph Hicks?
Yes.
Robert Huft?
Yes.
Anna Marshall?
Yes.
Charles McHenry?
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne?
Yes.
Darrell Proctor?
Yes.
Mark Randolph?
Yes.
Speaker, you have 12 in favor, 2 against.
12 in favor, 2 against. NCA 23-047 is adopted. NCA 23-054, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending MCNCA Title 35, Chapter 13, entitled Tribal Burial Assistance and Food for Funeral Assistance Program, and authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, funds received from the United States Department of the Treasury for the fiscal relief funding for burial assistance. Sponsors are Representative Mark Randolph and second speaker Robert Huft.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Mark Randolph makes a motion to adopt, seconded by second speaker Robert Huft. Discussion. Is there any discussion, council representatives?
Speaker?
Representative Golden.
Yes. I just wanted to, first of all, thank the people that donated last week for a funeral in Walika. And it appears that some of the funeral homes are already increasing their packages. I don't know what they are, but they're adding additional things that we think are additional, but they're really not. In the case of the $250 for this family, it was the thing that puts the body in the ground. That was the extra. And so I just would like to say I'm in support of this because our citizens really need it right now, and ask that our social services departments make sure that they are somehow assisting these families that are having to come up with that money, because those funeral homes are holding their loved ones hostage, and it's wrong. And we shouldn't have to dig in our pockets, and they shouldn't have to worry about burying their loved ones. Thank you.
Mado, Representative Golden. Any other discussion, council representatives? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph?
Yes.
Galen Cloud?
Yes.
Mary Crawford?
Yes.
Joyce Steer?
Yes.
Patrick Freeman?
Yes.
Sandra Golden?
Yes.
Leonard Gouge?
Yes.
Nelson Harjo?
Yes.
Joseph Hicks?
Yes.
Robert Huft?
Yes.
Anna Marshall?
Yes.
Charles McHenry?
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne?
Yes.
Darrell Proctor?
Yes.
Speaker, you have 14 in favor, 0 against.
14 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-054 is adopted. NCA 23-068, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing a donation to the Holdenville Fire Department. Sponsor, Representative Anna Marshall.
Motion to adopt.
Representative Anna Marshall makes a motion to adopt.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Darrell Proctor. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Anna Marshall?
Yes.
Charles McHenry?
Yes.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne?
No.
Darrell Proctor?
No.
Mark Randolph?
No.
Galen Cloud?
No.
Mary Crawford?
No.
Joyce Steer?
Yes.
Patrick Freeman? Sandra Golden?
No.
Leonard Gouge?
No.
Nelson Harjo?
No.
Joseph Hicks?
No.
Robert Huft?
No.
Speaker, you have 4 in favor, 10 against.
4 in favor, 10 against. This legislation needed a 2/3 vote, which would be 11 from the full council, receiving only 4 votes, 10 noes. NCA 23-068 fails. NCA 23-069, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing a supplemental appropriation for the Muskogee Creek Nation Office of Child Support Enforcement for fiscal year 2023. Sponsor is Representative Randall Hicks.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Galen Cloud. Discussion. Is there any discussion, council? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Thomasine Yehola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman, Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Leonard Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft,
Yes.
Anna Marshall,
No.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 13 in favor, 1 against.
13 in favor, 1 against. NCA 23-069 is adopted. Last item on the agenda, NCA 23-070, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending MCNCA Title 16, Chapter 8, entitled Office of the Secretary of the Nation in Commerce, and creating a new Chapter 11 entitled Secretary of Commerce. Sponsor is Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne.
Speaker, motion to adopt.
Representative Thomasine Yehola Osborne makes a motion to adopt, seconded by Representative Nelson Harjo Sr. Discussion. Do we have any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Speaker, can I have Secretary of Nation Harjo come before and explain the legislation, please?
Of course. Zachariah, the floor is yours, sir.
Mado. So this legislation has been prepared and pending for quite some time. As I've mentioned before, I believe in my best recommendation to the nation that we need to make this split because the current position of Secretary of Nation and Commerce, in my opinion, is too burdensome and too large of a title for any one person to hold. The last time I added up all of the different responsibilities and positions, there was 14 or more program services, functions, activities, and businesses the Secretary of the Nation and Commerce is responsible for. We're the only large tribe that combines both of those responsibilities in one person. And in my opinion, it hinders not only the growth of the nation, but moving forward, it just is not possible for one person to manage all those responsibilities for a nation of our size and where we need to go and where we are currently. So if you look at our immediate peers in Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, they all have a separate Secretary of the Nation, or Secretary of State, as some of them refer to it, and Secretary of Commerce. And so in my best recommendation, this is the general direction that we need to go. I was asked in committee how the Secretary of the Nation and Secretary of Commerce work together. They are very integrated together, and we will continue work. But my perspective, the Secretary of Commerce should and will pursue business endeavors that will return profit to the nation with or without consideration to its cultural premises and responsibility, whereas the Secretary of the Nation has more of the responsibility of enacting business endeavors that support the jurisdiction, the sovereignty, the cultural components, and all the above of the nation beyond just pure revenue and profit. So there is a difference between them, but they will work together. And the departments and programs that I manage currently as Secretary of the Nation and Commerce or as acting will continue to work together. But moving forward, the vision between what's revenue generating and what's culturally necessary will be drawn, and the guidance needed to take us into a new era of prosperity, I think, truly lies with the Secretary of Commerce, in addition to supporting department from the Secretary of State and Secretary of the Nation. So we have similar jobs, but they're distinct and they're different. And I know where my strengths are as the Secretary of the Nation. That feels very empowering to say now. But I also know where the business endeavors and the future of this nation belong and who should be managing that, and that is a separate office.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, roll call vote, please. Thank you, Zachariah.
Thomasine Yehola Osborne,
Yes.
Darrell Proctor,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Deere,
No.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
No.
Leonard Gouge,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Robert Huft,
Yes.
Anna Marshall,
No.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Speaker, you have 11 in favor, 3 against.
11 in favor, 3 against. NCA 23-070 is adopted. That concludes our order of business. On to other business. Do we have any other business, council representatives? Hearing no other business. Announcements. Representatives, do we have any announcements? Representative Cloud.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to say that the Ho Hog Days is going on out there in Eufaula, so if anybody ain't got nothing to do, just come on out there and enjoy your time.
Outstanding. Ho Hog Day today. Any other comments, questions, announcements? Representative Crawford.
Muskogee Indian Community Center is having a Creek Hymn singing tonight. They're going to serve dinner at 5 and start singing at 6. If you're around Muskogee, we welcome you to come join us. Thank you.
No, ma'am. Any other announcements? Hearing no more announcements, I would like to take this time and again to just ask our royalty to please stand and be recognized. Wave to the crowd. We greatly appreciate you young ladies because you are our ambassadors, Miss Muskogee, Shanoa Barnett, Junior Miss Georgia Harjo, Mado. Any other announcements? Hearing no more announcements, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Representative Nelson Harjo makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by Representative Charles McHenry. At this time, I would like to, as you were, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, our adjournment passes. I would like to ask Representative Nelson Harjo Sr. to say our benediction, which will serve as our adjournment.
Let us pray. Father God, we always give you thanks for this time that you allow us just to sit here in these positions to look over the different things and, just all the things that we have to look through, all the legislations and everything. And Father, we're just so thankful that you watch over us as we go through and have discussions. And I'm just so thankful that all that are here with us today, that they could hear this particular meeting and the many different things they may be interested in, Lord. But Father God, we're just so thankful that we have you watching over us. And we know that all the things that we decided on are going to help us to continue to move forward. And we just give you thanks for allowing us to sit here like this, that we have that capability of doing so. And Father, we just ask that you just watch over our nation and watch over our citizens, Lord. We, again, as one of the council members mentioned earlier, every day is always not something we're promised. So we just ask that you would just be with us as we approach each day, Lord, and that you just keep us safe. And from this meeting, Lord, as we adjourn from here, just keep us safe as we travel back home. We give you thanks for all this. In our precious and holy name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Mado Representative Harjo Sr. We are adjourned at 10:36 a.m. Mado, get home safe, folks.